President of Parliament clarifies the yacht provisioning issue that has been suspended. Prime Minister announces COVID-19 testing. But first up, Minister of Justice says police patrols will be stepped up. Those are the headlines for Thursday, March 26th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Now for the details. Minister of Justice Egbe Doran is sending a strong message to those who are not adhering to the COVID-19 measures. The minister says that police will be stepping up their controls and they will be seeing a heightened visibility of the police.
Following decisions by the EOC on Sunday, March 22nd, have been in close consultation with the management of the police force and the public prosecutor's office. I hereby wish to announce that the measures taken by the EOC will be strictly enforced according to the transaction list related to the COVID-19 measures, which was previously published. The police instructions will include heightened visibility of the police at vital infrastructure, businesses, and homes. If you are in the vicinity of these establishments or homes, you can be requested to identify yourself and be removed effective immediately. All persons must be in possession of identification, and non-compliance will lead to fines. Businesses that do not comply with the opening hours of the EOC will be closed and clients will be instructed to leave immediately. A report will be made for the Ministry of TIAT and the owner will be fined for non-compliance. No more than 20 persons are allowed in larger grocery stores and no more than 10 in smaller grocery stores. A distance of 1.5 to 2 meters, 4 feet to 6 feet, is to be maintained when waiting for service. Group gatherings are strictly prohibited. Group gatherings more than 5 persons on a public road in the vicinity of businesses. This includes restaurants, bars, gas stations, barbecues, etc., and other places are strictly prohibited and will be immediately dispersed. Non-compliance can lead to fine and arrest. It is also advised to avoid social gatherings at homes. Beaches will remain open, however, no beach vending or businesses are allowed to operate. Social gatherings of more than 5 people is strictly prohibited and will be immediately dispersed as well at the beach also. It is not the intention under given circumstances to use force. However, if and when necessary, the police will not hesitate to apply use of force to maintain public order and safety. I would also like to announce the adjusted justice service in regards to social distancing. The following departments of the ministry will be operating at a reduced staff capacity and will be handling only emergencies from the workplace as of Monday, March 23rd, which was Monday gone until April 6, 2020. KPSM. No walk-ins at the police station for non-emergencies, and questions you can call 54-22222. For filing of reports, you can call the same number and also make an appointment to file a report. Please have the following details at hand before calling the station in order for us to provide efficient and effective services. Your name, date of birth, place of birth, address, phone number, and a short summary of what took place. Border control. Following the COVID-19 protocol, we will submit all passengers to a questionnaire and will issue information regarding self-isolation measures. Appointments must be made for immigration services, including reporting. This can also be done at the same number 54-2222, extension 307. The number of call takers are increased in order to provide extra services when calling. Please give your correct telephone number in the event that the police need to follow up or the immigration officer. You can call 911 for emergency only. COVID protocols are in place to dispatch to a dispatch center. Please comply with the dispatcher. COVID-19 protocols are in place for the patrols also. Please comply with the instructions given by the officers. This can include a request to wear a mask and maintain safety distance. As for the customs of St. Martin, we'll have 100% controls on goods from risk countries, 100% controls on air passengers, and 100% control on baggage, and also 100% control on goods.
And the police department is requesting more information on the shooting suspect at Market Garden. On Sunday, March the 22nd, 2020, a man was shot dead in broad daylight by an unknown suspect during a robbery of his scooter in the parking lot of the Market Garden supermarket on Welfare Road. The detectives of the Special Robbery Unit are hard at work investigating this cruel and cold-blooded act. The police has received information from various sources of who the suspect is and where he could be hanging out. The leads received from the community over the last days have not materialized in getting the personal details of the suspect or the location where he should be residing. Therefore, the police are again requesting the public's assistance with any information possible that could lead to the whereabouts, apprehension, and arrest of the suspect. We are requesting anyone who may have information about the suspect and who may have information concerning his whereabouts to please contact the St. Martin Police Force at 1721-542-2222, extension 204 or 205, or the anonymous tip line at the number 9300. And still to come, Prime Minister gives an update on general information on COVID-19. I'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And as we continue with the news at this time, Prime Minister Sylvia Jacobs gave some general information to the public regarding COVID-19 and the social distancing decree at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing on Wednesday. She also gave a revised protocol for when visiting the building and when to call or report to CPS, Collective Preventive Service. In addition, she gave the new hours for the essential businesses such as the drugstores.
As a result of the social distancing decree, as well as ensuring that as many people as possible can stay at home, the EOC meetings will continue as of the next one via a digital platform utilizing Microsoft Teams, which is what government is using at the moment to ensure that government business can continue while members of our workforce, our civil servants, many are now connected via Teams, and there are therefore ways that we can continue to serve the public. As has been already put forth, those who have to come to the building for service are asked to first make a phone call, get an appointment, and we will move forward from there. Civil Registry has been granted also a call number, a 3-digit number, 711. As you know, 914 is already the number to use for CPS, for reporting in if you have traveled abroad within the past 3 weeks, if you are feeling symptoms, or if you know of someone who has either of the above mentioned, report to CPS so that they can follow up at 914. If you are ill, however, and it is after hours, it is best to call ahead at your doctor or emergency room in order to know what you should do before going to your doctor or to the hospital. During our EOC meeting, business closures and social distancing was further discussed. It was further decided, or to ensure that all businesses are closed on Sundays with the exception of pharmacies and gas stations. However, and that the mandatory 6 p.m. closures will be strictly enforced. Further clarification will be given by the pharmacies. As you know, on Sundays, there's already a special schedule. We are not expecting that full schedule will be upheld. So the pharmacies will come forth with a proposal before Sunday to ensure that the general public knows exactly which pharmacies will be open on Sunday. ESF 10, which handles everything related to business and tourism, has prepared a letter to be signed off by my person as chair of EOC, emphasizing the limitation of persons, which is now of a maximum of 20, depending on the size of the establishment inside of the establishment. The number of persons and spacing, however, is again, as I mentioned, dependent on the size. Generally, more distancing in stores needs to be enforced, as was mentioned by the Minister of VSA, perhaps ensuring that businesses not only inform customers but put markers that are clearly positioned will assist in doing this in all the floors and in the aisles, as well as wherever they may need to line up, especially outside of the establishment as well. Enforceability is essential. What is allowed should be clear to all stakeholders, including the clients as well as the business people. And I would like to request that all business people, all business owners who are privileged to be open at this time would adhere to these guidelines or face the serious possibility of fines or closure for the rest of this period.
The Prime Minister also updated the press about the COVID-19 testing. She announced that a private laboratory is currently being vetted as a local testing agent and should be in place by next Wednesday.
COVID-19 testing. Currently, a private laboratory on the Dutch side is being vetted as a local testing agent for the COVID-19 virus. As I mentioned before, SLS, as well as this other laboratory, is already able to carry out tests for 19 other type of viral, let's say, cold, like influenza-like viruses. So this is the route that CPS is going. Once someone shows symptoms, first we test for the spectrum of 19 that we have, and then if it comes out negative for any of those, then is when the test for COVID-19 is done. COVID-19 tests continue to go through Institut Pasteur in Guadeloupe, and then vetted via RIVM in the Netherlands. Those flights continue. They are cargo flights via FedEx, and so there is no disturbance of that service. Once this new testing kit, which the other lab has received, is vetted, this will take about a week. So hopefully by next week, Wednesday, we will be able to do COVID testing right here on St. Martin. This is a great asset to the country with respect to getting results right away in determined confirmed cases. And the World Health Organization has been pushing for countries to test, and St. Martin will definitely be complying with that in the next week if all goes well with the vetting process. I would like to also reiterate on French-Dutch cooperation. Yesterday, there was a bit of a misunderstanding. I believe there was an article in the newspaper about flights continuing between the French islands in the Caribbean, which sent the population into an uproar. Understandably so, because it sent me into an uproar as well, and I immediately sought to get clarification from this, because the day before we'd had very let's say tense in the beginning, but at the end, amicable meetings once we as St. Martin and Saint Martin officials were able to understand what we were dealing with. Many times when dealing with our French counterparts, they are taking their orders directly from France, or a general within Guadeloupe has the say. And we understand that the situation in France and Guadeloupe is totally different to the situation on the French side and St. Bart's at this time. So the agreements still stand as we have indicated on Monday. And so last night and this morning, the Prefet assured that she would send out a correction. The flights that have been are continuing at L'Esperance in Grand Case are just like the ones on our side, solely to take passengers out or to bring persons who from St. Martin usually go to Guadeloupe for medical purposes such as chemotherapy, etc. So that it will be allowed for medical and emergencies only, and for if a family member needs to travel with them. And the flights will be on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Also for technical assistance, should the government of the French side request such. So similarly to what we are doing with Sabre and St. Eustatius is being done on the French side with their passengers who need to go for medical and emergencies, technical support.
And in this social media news brief, still with the Prime Minister Jacob says that cooperation between St. Martin and St. Martin is working well. The cooperation in working together to synchronize our islands, St. Martin, St. Martin, fight against the coronavirus disease COVID-19 has been an ongoing effort since it was declared by the World Health Organization as a public health emergency of international concern. This cooperation continues on a daily basis as part of our joint preparedness, response, and mitigation measures. Essential air transportation services. Air Antilles Airline is providing limited essential air travel service between St. Martin, Grand Case, St. Bart's, and Guadeloupe for the following reasons. Urgent health-related matters, such as dialysis or urgent surgeries, chemotherapy treatment. An essential family member can accompany the patient, and professional travel for crisis management officials. A similar arrangement is in place with our national airline, Winair, with respect to limited services between St. Martin, Sabre, and St. Eustatius and Curaçao. Emergency medical evacuations, health professionals, and technical assistance. As Prime Minister, I would like to assure the general public that the governments of both sides of the island have taken measures to protect both health and safety and will continue to work together to get through this global crisis. Stay safe, stay at home, wash hands frequently for 20 seconds, don't touch your face, maintain social distancing of up to 6 feet, avoid groups of people, don't share items between each other such as cell phones, etc. Practice respiratory hygiene. If you cough, cough in your elbow. Sneeze in a tissue and throw it in the bin, and stay healthy. For official information, Government Radio 107.9 FM, www.stmartingov.org/coronavirus, or the facebook.com/SXMGov. And now, turning to our weather forecast for March the 26th, 2020. Low-level moisture transported across the local area by the wind flow will account for an occasional increase in cloudiness and isolated showers. Additionally, the Atlantic high-pressure ridge will maintain a light to gentle breeze. Seas will remain slight to moderate during the next few days. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, the Princess Juliana International Airport receives 5,000 masks. I'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Prime Minister and Chair Lady of the EOC, Sylvia Jacobs, visited the Princess Juliana International Airport on March 25th to accept the donation of 5,000 medical masks on behalf of the government of St. Martin. The donated masks are to be used by the medical professionals on St. Martin who are on the front lines of the battle to block the spread of COVID-19 and care for our patients. On Monday, Royal Dutch Airlines KLM transported 8,000 masks to St. Martin at the request of the Princess Juliana International Airport. The remainder of the masks will be used for the protection of the Princess Juliana International Airport employees against the COVID-19 virus while they are at work. This is specifically important in areas where passengers frequent. The multiple pallets arrived on a passenger-empty flight from Schiphol, Amsterdam. Brian Mingo, the CEO of PJIA, expressed his thanks to Schiphol for making these masks available and to KLM for transporting them. Additionally, PJIA Task Force Manager Connolly Connor stated that PJIA's objective is to minimize the spread of this virus, protect staff, the airport, community, tourists, and the public from becoming infected. Prime Minister Jacobs recognized PJIA as a key stakeholder in the Emergency Support Function ESF 10, along with Port St. Martin. And concern about provisioning for yachts on the island has prompted the President of Parliament, Rolando Bryson, to clarify the mega yacht provisioning that has been suspended. Speaking to Dr. Sock of Island Radio 92.1 FM regarding the mega yachts and the provisioning, the President says that his responsibility is to the people of St. Martin as well.
I think it was an important and a good move by the Prime Minister, and I applaud her for that because we've been noticing recently, she mentioned very vaguely some infractions, but there have been some things that could go wrong in the yachting industry where, people might not follow proper procedures and then put the entire population at risk. And at a certain point, we have a responsibility to our people as well. We do love and appreciate the marine industry and how it's helped us build our economy and so on. But at the same time, now is not the time to only focus on the current economic benefits. We have to focus on the health and the risks that can be posed, but also the humanitarian safety of some people on board. Because if vessels come to St. Martin and start disembarking their crew and telling their crew, well, you're out of work, and leaves them stranded in St. Martin with no way, for example, to get back to South Africa or to the US or wherever they originate, that poses even a humanitarian threat for St. Martin. So it's something that unfortunately a few have spoiled it for the rest, and we do have to do the right thing for St. Martin, and I applaud the efforts. However, yes, to be clear, absolutely this does not mean that any food, goods, fuel, water shipments, any of those things at the harbor are being conducted. As a matter of fact, I even got a few calls when people panicked and saw a cruise ship, for example, docked at the harbor and thought, what the hell is going on here? Are we letting cruise vessels in? No, absolutely not. None of the crew are allowed to disembark. It is completely handled remotely. This is just to provision those cruise ships. I mean, we have to also be human beings and realize that some of these ships have 1,000 people on board or more that need to survive, that need to eat. And all we are doing in such a case, if you see a cruise ship in port, we are simply completely remotely provisioning them. There's absolutely no interaction with the passengers and the crew with any of our humans on this side of the port. So that part of it continues. This is more geared towards pleasure vessels, basically.
And the new hospital project also affected by COVID-19 restrictions. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent traveling restrictions imposed worldwide, one of the consequences is a possible extension of the original construction timeline for the St. Martin General Hospital, SMGH. However, St. Martin Medical Center, SMMC, and the main contractor are exploring avenues for acceleration of certain aspects of the project in order to avoid or minimize the impact. In the preceding months, the first construction activities in relation to the St. Martin General Hospital project have taken place, which mainly consisted of mobilization activities such as site cleanup, installation of temporary fencing, rerouting of the site drainage system, among other activities. Due to the travel restrictions currently in effect, key staff of the contractor necessary to activate further construction activities are not able to travel to St. Martin. This may result in a delay in the overall construction timeline. However, In the meantime, procurement and design activities have continued, as well as site installation activities, including installation of permanent fencing and the site entrance. The St. Martin Medical Center and the contractor are investigating all options to further accelerate the project once the airport reopens and construction activities can recommence. In line with the precautionary measures taken by the St. Martin Medical Center and government in relation to COVID-19, the St. Martin General Hospital project team and the contractor continue activities to complete the final design. However, by working remotely as much as possible and taking the social distancing guidelines into account when in office. And still to come, SZV launches dedicated website for adjusted SZV procedures. And you'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns. And in more news at this time, in light of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, the operations of Social and Health Insurance SZV has made an advanced transition to online services as a response to contribute to the public health and safety of residents. SZV has been able to implement temporary measures to remove the need of customers having to visit SZV offices and make services flexible to maintain access to health care and other benefits. To support the exchange of transparent information to customers and the public, SZV has launched a dedicated COVID-19 webpage on www.szv.sx. The overview of the adjusted procedures of SZV as per March 17th. The COVID-19 webpage can be found on the main menu of www.szv.sx or by clicking here, szv.sx/info/COVID-19. These are unprecedented times. We are placing the health and safety of our customers and staff as high priority, while adjusting to new effective ways of working to secure access to health insurance for our customers in the midst of this global crisis. For now, you may not be able to physically visit us, but we are open online and working for you. I encourage everyone to visit the webpage for updated SZV procedures. Send us a message on Facebook or call us during opening hours. Stay safe, continue to practice preventative measures, and follow government guidelines, says Director of SZV, Glenn Carty. I am Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of SXM Daily News team, we thank you for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.